So I want to share with you some very scary things that I'm seeing in this industry by some insurance agencies, some final expense IMOs that are really taking a major risk with your profession, by the way, as well as others. It is so important that you have good people around you, but I'm going to give you the problems that may cause you to get popped, may cause you as an insurance agent to lose your license, lose your carrier appointments, your ability to cash flow and stay in business. This is not a laughing matter. So I'm going to give you what's going on so that you can decide for yourself, is your IMO, your FMO doing this? This is some scary, stupid stuff, my friends, and it will sometimes cost you your livelihood because you didn't know. And acting ignorant is not going to get you out of this. All right. So number one, personal identifiable information called PII. The quickest way to get you in trouble is sharing PII. It doesn't matter how you're doing it. If you're using a Zoom room in your IMO, your final expense organization, and everybody's got their Zoom screens on, or a Google room, or maybe you're using Teams, I don't care what medium you're taking yourself into to keep yourself involved with other agents. I get that. But if you're saying the client's last name where someone else can hear it, if you're sharing their date of birth, their address, that's all protected information. That's PII. That's a major problem for you. And you probably didn't think about this. I know it's not your fault, but now you know. Now you've got knowledge. Now you've got a decision to make. This is dangerous territory that's going to have drastic consequences. I have talked to an insurance carrier, quite a few of them, talk to their legal teams, talk to their compliance teams, and under no circumstances is this to happen. If you're on a phone call with someone, let's say I was on the phone call with you, you're my insurance prospect. If there's another living, breathing person on that phone listening to any part of it, I need to make that person aware. You would want that too. If I was talking to you and then we have a 10-minute conversation and then you find out that there's like 40, 50 people listening to that, are you going to be okay with this? This is a lawyer's lunch, my friends. You are exposing yourself to an inherent risk that you may not have really known. So I'm not trying to talk one way or another, but you need to take major action to not be a part of this. It's a major problem in this industry from some IMOs, some FMOs that have no background with final expense telesales, much less PII that they're supposed to be protecting their insureds with, their clients, and protecting you, the agent force, for that matter. They should be looking out for your job, and the insurance companies say, hey, if you've got somebody that's doing this, they can lose their contracts like immediately. Yeah, lose their contracts for sharing PII in a public medium like Zoom. That's dangerous, my friend. So now, number two, we're going to talk about Zoom rooms. Zoom rooms are great. I use Zoom rooms in our agency all the time, but we don't have clients on the phone. We don't have this voyeuring effect. I'm not saying it's not a very good idea if you weren't exposing PII, but the problem with this Zoom room is all these people are listening to what's happening in this conversation. This is a protected conversation. And in certain states, let me tell you, that Zoom room is going to get you lit up. There's something called anti-wiretapping laws, two-party consent states. It is a violation to record, disseminate a conversation without the express, written, or verbal permission of that consumer. So if you're on a phone call in a two-party consent state, that consumer needs to say, yes, it's okay. I consent to the recording of this call for quality and even training purposes. They've got to say this. That doesn't say that you can put their PII out in a public fashion or on a website somewhere. That isn't what they're speaking about. Violating PII, once again, name, last name, date of birth, phone number, address, something as simple as an address. This is scary stuff that I'm seeing agencies do. In these Zoom rooms, this Zoom room is going to be the doom of you. It's going to destroy your carrier appointments when somehow it gets discovered, and then they're going to find out it was you. Or maybe it wasn't even you. You're in a Zoom room of an agency that isn't knowledgeable about final expense telesales. And let's say somebody wrote down the information from your call. Now they have identity theft. They're coming after you and every person in that room. Crap in this industry, my friends, does not go downhill. It goes uphill. And if you were in that room, you're part of the problem, not part of the solution. So be careful. Zoom rooms can compromise client information, personal identifiable information. Major problem, my friends. Stay out of Zoom rooms. If your agency is doing this, find an agency that's a home, that's a work family, that knows how to help you, like what we do here at jasonfinalexpense.com. Caustic advice can cause major problems for you. And I'm seeing this from other agencies in this industry. They're making really, really bad decisions that can cause you to lose your contracts. If you're in a two-party consent state, if that consumer does not give you permission to record that call verbally by saying, yes, I agree to the recording of this call, that call's over with. You cannot record it, period. And having other people in that room voyeuring that conversation is going to cause you to potentially lose your ability to sell insurance with that carrier. I'm not kidding you. They will terminate your contract, which reduces your cash flow. So I want you to be aware. I want to warn you about very real problems that I'm seeing in this industry from agencies that, my goodness, end in L, end in group, end in life, dangerous, dangerous things that I'm seeing them doing. They're going to cost you money, can cost you your contracts, and very well could cost them their contracts if they have one person that does something stupid. You could be on a conversation with me in a Zoom room, and I'm your, let's say, insurance prospect, and then you got somebody over there that's writing stuff down. Guess what? That's an identity theft's dream. Identity theft. Yeah, now you are part of it. You caused that problem for an amazing person. Do not do this. We do not use these tactics. We do not take this lightly. Personal identifiable information is something that deserves to be protected. Your license says that you are responsible for protecting this information. This is why you use HIPAAs. This is why these insurance companies guard and protect these great, great folks in final expense telesales and face-to-face insurance sales. You're going to be faced with major, major problems that are going to cost you more money than you know. It will cost you your ability to make a living. If you're making these mistakes, get out. If you're doing this right now, get out of these Zoom rooms. Maybe look to align with a company that knows what they're doing. That doesn't put you in harm's way. But I'm hearing this all the time. There's Zoom rooms. And let me tell you, if these Zoom rooms say, oh, well, we put them on mute 100% of the time, no, you're not. All right. And if people are hearing the last name, if people are hearing the address, that's actually a problem too, because now you know information. I'm not talking about just guarding the social security number or just guarding the banking information. The big problem here is all PII, all personally identifiable information, including phone number. All right. This should not be in a public medium like a Zoom room with people that are working out of their homes with their little computer screen on. That is a major problem that's going to cost you sometimes your ability to have a career in insurance sales. Be careful, my friends. If you're in a Zoom room and you're putting things on mute, then this is a mute point. Zoom is nothing but, if you have it on mute, like if I go on mute with you right now, it doesn't matter then. What's the point? If you can't listen to the calls, there's no point in creating a Zoom room. There's none. And if somebody in that Zoom room accidentally doesn't hit the mute button and you're so in the zone trying to help these great people, now you've just created a problem, not only for you, but every person in that room. And if one new agent doesn't hit the mute button at the right moment, now everybody is exposed in that room because you are part of the problem and you're proceeding with an uncompliant way of basically allowing your agency to micromanage you. You're not a W-2, my friends. You're 1099. You can make this, but you've got to make good decisions. Don't be putting your license at risk. Don't be putting your contracts at risk because you didn't know better. This is just some really bad stuff that I'm seeing. I'm not trying to do anything more than warn you because you're going to lose wealth if you have contracts get terminated because the insurance company finds out there's all these people on calls, all these Zoom rooms open, and the client didn't know about it. Caustic, personal information being breached, caustic, Zoom rooms that your agency may have. And my goodness, I hope they're terminating them. But this is something that I've had this conversation with many different agencies over the last couple of weeks. This is a dangerous, dangerous sales practice. And if you want to keep your job, you want to keep your career, well, I would advise you to not breach PII. Keep it protected, just like you would protect your own information. Also understand two-party consent states are something that needs to be taken extremely, extremely seriously. You need to make sure you understand two-party consent states. Do not be recording someone's calls without them saying, yes, I agree to the recording of this call. And then make sure that you're protecting even when you do record the call. Don't be putting these calls out in a public medium with someone's personally identifiable information on them. You've got to scrub it. All right. It's not in a position where these companies are in the need to know. They shouldn't be broadcasting like your information. If I had a call with you, your name, your date of birth, all your information, would you be okay if I didn't tell you that it was being shared with 50, 60 people in a training session? You'd lose your lunch and you'd get lawyers all over me. I guarantee you, if I did this to you, the old golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. And I'm just trying to warn you, a lot of you may have not known this. So if you need good information, You need good final expense telesales scripts. You need good leads. You need good leadership that won't put you into these same types of caustic management created problems. Well, reach out at jasonfinalexpense.com. Do everything I can to serve you, but this is some things that I'm seeing in the industry that is really going to cause unintentional consequences for every person that took calls in a Zoom room without protecting the consumer. And my goodness, if you're having mute on the whole time, then it's a mute point to even have a Zoom room in the first place, unless you want to look at my face without any words being spoken. And that just doesn't make any sense. I hope this helps you, my friends. Have a great day. Hope this protects you and keeps you in the business. You've got what it takes.